Monopoly by Grit.
Welcome to Monopoly Season 2, Episode 4. We are going to talk about pros and cons of apartment investing today. Today I have Greg, who is part of Salvo Property Group, who are the king of apartment development in South Bank in Melbourne. Welcome, Greg.
Thank you, Naveen. Pleased to meet you.
Brilliant. Yeah. So, Greg, before we get into apartments, do you know how we came up with the term monopoly?
Monopoly is when you own everything and you beat everybody else.
As a kid, were you playing Monopoly?
We played Monopoly all the time, but we try and find out a way to beat the system so you could win. And I don't have much patience, so we'd hand out all the cards first, and then try and trade.
Or rob the bank.
Or rob the bank. Either or. So get on with it.
Same. Yeah. Same with us too. All right, back to apartments.
Yes, sir.
We'll talk about pros and cons of apartments.
Yep.
It's an interesting time of the market because all of a sudden apartments are the talk of the town.
Yep.
Let's talk about different types of apartments.
Yep.
We have high rises, low rises.
Yep.
What are your thoughts on?
It just depends on location. Okay, so I've always got a key thing that location is key, but then location is whatever a good location, there's certain parameters that can be determined by that.
Yeah.
But a good location also depends on a person's specific circumstances. So the key things where you say a great location is X, Y, and Z, in general has a way of doing that.
Yeah.
But it might not be exactly right for someone that doesn't want to live in the city.
Yeah.
Okay, so if you're looking at being in the city, then there's a few key things that you need to look at in terms of that, and then you've got to look at high rise.
Yeah. No, you're right. It all depends on the requirement of the buyer.
Yep.
It can be for an investment. It can be for them to live in. But then if it's for living,
Yep.
it's the place they want to live in.
Well, as we say, always go location. But if I want to live on a farm, well, maybe South Bank's not the place.
That's right. And let's talk about the process of buying an apartment.
Yep.
I know it's very simple for you and me.
Yep.
But for people who are watching, it's, to my knowledge, it's a 1,000, 2,000 deposit based on the project, 10%, and rest is on completion.
Yep.
And it can be a completed apartment. It can, in that case, get your finance sorted, put the deposit in,
Yep.
settle 30, 60, 90 days.
Yep.
But off the plan is different. It can be next year, year after.
It can take a long time.
Yeah.
And just with that particular thing, we always say that if you're going to go off the plan,
Yeah.
understand who you're buying from.
Yeah.
Very, very key. So always look at track record, what sort of apartments they have built, have they been completed, do they finish all of the stuff? So yes, you look at the locations, you look at all those sort of things, but one of the first things you've got to look at is you say, okay, I found the great location. These are the options in that location. Who am I dealing with?
Yeah. I was going to come to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially in the current climate.
Yep.
You got to know who you're building with.
Absolutely. You even look at, everybody used to be terrified apartments,
Yeah.
and then suddenly we get one of the biggest house and land builders going bust.
Yeah.
Which is great for apartments. We'll borrow that.
Yeah.
But besides that, it's you've got to look at who you're dealing with. Very,
Yeah.
very key.
Yeah. Absolutely. And what do you think are the other factors apart from the location, the builder, developer, other factors an investor or a buyer should look at in buying an apartment?
So let's look at the bigger picture first.
Yeah.
We look at where do people normally live? Okay, so we're talking apartments now. So you go, people have this perception that we have an oversupply. So that's a perception. When you look at the numbers of people that are coming into the country in terms of immigration,
Yeah.
that has been increased. I think you figure 400,000. So
400,000 in the next 2 years. They want to hit 1 million before the next 10 years. So.
Now, those people generally have been used to living in apartments.
Yeah.
During COVID, you look in the sky, there are no cranes in the sky.
Yeah.
They're not. So there is, and you look at when people are looking to rent a property, there are queues
Yeah.
of people trying to just get a property. So you've got to look at, we've got all these people coming in. They want to live near the city because that's where they're working.
Yeah.
It's going to be high-rise apartments. There's still fantastic value.
Yeah.
I think that's a very key thing.
Yeah.
You can still get really good value in apartments at the moment. There's a massive supply of people coming in, but an undersupply.
Yeah.
And definitely that's actually going to get worse
Yeah.
because a high-rise apartment building, unlike a house and land package where you can get it started 3 to 6 months, probably 5 at minimum, 5 years lead time
Yeah.
just to get it going. So we've got nothing being built. We've got a few projects that are being completed. There's still great value in those projects, especially Salvo ones.
Yes.
If you look at a rate per square meter wise,
Yeah.
okay, so I'm just having a little punt there.
Yeah.
And
No, that's true.
yeah, you look at if you can get, there's still very, very good value to have.
Yeah.
Huge demand in people wanting to rent property. So we're talking investors here.
Yeah.
So if you're an investor, you want a tenant.
Yeah.
Rents are really, really high. So your yields on apartments are usually much higher than house and land.
Yeah.
And then you get the contrary argument, yes, but house and land, the values increase quicker,
Yeah.
which is possibly true in historic times. But because of the undersupply that is coming, you've bought at good value. I can potentially see some really good growth now starting to happen
Yeah.
in the apartment sector as well. So you're going to get really good returns. And because of the undersupply, and most stuff has been built already, there's not much more that can be built.
Yeah.
I think we'll start seeing some really good increases in value over the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, no, absolutely. Talking about other factors, the type of the floor plan is also plays a critical role. I think you guys are pretty good at coming up with solid floor plans, but I think that's another one.
We look at it very, very carefully.
Yeah.
Okay, so apartments have got smaller, but the designs are getting cleverer.
Yeah.
Okay, so you're sort of having wasted, even when I get a client coming in and they say they want an apartment, needs to be 80 square meters. And I'm saying, well, have a look at the layout
Yeah.
and make sure that is 80 usable square meters. And the kitchens are being designed to maximize your living space. So we look at that very, very carefully. You might see it's a very small-ish apartment, but both bedrooms can accommodate queen-size beds,
Yeah.
where a lot of apartments you might find that you get a master that will take a double, and then the second bedroom is really a single bed, if you're lucky.
Yeah.
So look at the design, and the new designs that we do these days are taking into account a lot of that, how to maximize your usage of space
Yeah.
so you're not overpaying. You're not paying for dead space.
Yeah. Absolutely. Absolutely. What are the pros and the cons of apartment investing for an investor?
Well, pros I can just see obviously is there's the undersupply,
Yeah.
okay, and getting in now at good value. Make
Yeah.
sure it's good value.
Yeah.
Okay, the con would be if you're buying something that's overinflated already because it's got a big name and it's flashy, flashy, flashy,
Yeah.
and you come in at that could be a con.
Yeah.
And you just got to like apartments.
Yeah.
I guess look at the realistics of it. So the cons would be I don't want to be there. I want to be out in the suburbs.
Yeah.
We're talking investors.
Yeah.
So I think there's more pros in terms of getting involved now.
Yeah.
And I keep pushing that thing about value because you're getting really good value
Yeah.
from Salvo. And from there, you got in great locations. And if I can just push on that as well, initially even though we build in South Bank, we've specifically built in a pocket.
Yeah.
It's Greg's golden triangle.
That's right.
And you look at it and you go, you've got a tram on the one side, a tram on the other side, you've got on-ramps, you've got entertainment, and you've got residential. Now, that's quite key.
Yeah.
So those are the sort of things that you say if you're an investor, I think apartments are more pro because of the value,
Yeah.
the good returns you're getting, and the potential growth that I think we're going to see in the next 5 to 10 years.
Yeah, another con is people have to take note of the owner's corp fees. I mean, if a developer is charging
Yep.
like unrealistic
Yep.
owner's corp fees, like 10,000 per annum, that's
crazy. And then that's another thing people need to look at very, very carefully. Who is the owner's corporation?
Yeah.
How is it being managed?
Yeah.
What am I paying for?
yeah,
And because Salvo initially were purely developers,
yeah,
so they build, sell, we now build, we manage the buildings, and all that stuff you learn.
yeah,
And all those sort of things you start building into your next design to make it better and better, because people don't want to overpay for owners' corporations. And really, owners' corporations should be run in such a way that you minimize it for the people.
yeah,
So, for instance, a glass-clad building, and with lots of, just say glass and claddings, can have higher owners' corporation because it's a cleaning and maintenance of those type of things. So it's critical to look at that. You're right, yes.
yeah.
Yeah.
We talked about owner's corp. We talked about the amenities. As an investor, what are the factors that should make that decision about an apartment investment?
I think people now want amenities,
Yeah,
even if you don't use them.
yeah,
So it's just the fact that they're there.
yeah,
Okay, so for instance, we've just done a small building that just completed, Stature, you know about it.
yeah,
It's small, 170 apartments, over 34 floors. You would think it has no facilities. But we've fitted all those things in, and we've looked at what people want. So function rooms, outdoor areas, things like that you've got to incorporate. Even if people don't use it, they like the idea of it.
yeah,
And that's when you're looking to get a tenant, the tenant comes in, does it have a pool? Yep, ticks a box. Does it have a gym? It ticks a box. Does it have outdoor areas? It ticks a box. So all those things, even if your tenant never uses it, it's something that people think they want, and it's a good thing to have. Yeah.
It's definitely nice to have. And
Yeah.
we don't think about it, but a tenant thinks, okay, there's a gym, I can save about $100 a
Yes.
month. That's a saving for them.
Yep.
And
So it's just little things where you don't feel. Some people probably, when they initially have not used to living in an apartment,
Yeah,
might think they're stuck in
Yeah.
their apartment.
yeah,
When you're in a modern building that we build, you're not stuck, because you can go out and you can go to an outdoor area and you can have a barbecue and you can go for a swim. So those are your options. You're not stuck in a box.
exactly. And
Yeah.
people are changing the way they think about apartments. You don't have to have a big house to have a party. You
No.
have the function rooms, you can book it.
Exactly.
You don't have to take the people into your apartment.
And that's what we do now. We've actually put more function rooms in than what we've ever done before, because people are doing that. They go work from home, for instance, or meetings from the building. You can book a room and you've got those facilities in the building.
Yeah. And in preparation for doing an investment, what are the factors that they should be doing in purchasing? I mean, one is obviously they got to have the finance ready.
Yep.
That's number one, unless they're buying cash.
Yep.
Anything else you can think of?
Well, finance is quite a critical thing, and that's why at Salvo we've actually now even got our own in-house team. We actually bought number 6 in the country.
Yeah.
We felt that and it's been an absolutely critical part of our business, because you would get someone that would come in, would love the building,
Yeah.
and they'd go, well, where do I get finance? And we'll go and talk to Grit. He can help you.
Yeah.
You know, now I can go. I've got a team. I'll pick up the phone and they can sort it out. So yes, sorting your finance out,
Yeah.
getting it and letting them know what you can afford. That's the key thing. As I say, as you said, first thing is knowing where you want to be,
Yeah.
securing the right property, making sure that you know what you can afford to buy.
Yeah.
And then look, as you say, making sure you've got the right developer that's going to deliver the product that you hope you're going to get.
Yeah. And also, as you rightly said, there's a surge in rentals. We all see that, especially in the city.
Yep.
There's so many people coming in,
Yep.
and there's no land to build anything else.
Nothing else. You know, at one stage during COVID, everybody ran for the hills and they said, this is wonderful living in Whoop Whoop. And I think the appeal is lost and they go, well, this sucks. It was fun for a while.
Yeah.
Now everybody's coming back
Yeah.
because it just makes sense to
Yeah.
be near where universities and being an investor, by the way, and investing in a place like Melbourne, in the CBD and South Bank, your market is that wide because you're focusing on people that are studying. So you're getting high-class students studying at Melbourne Uni, RMIT, all these different places. These people are looking for places to stay.
Yeah.
The whole demographic of South Bank and stuff, there's even families there now.
Yeah.
So you're not just in the suburbs, you're talking to families.
Yeah.
In terms of being in a suburb like South Bank, and specifically our Golden Triangle, you've got people that are studying.
Yeah.
So you've got students, you've got professionals, and you've got families now.
Yeah.
So you're really spreading your risk in terms of getting a tenant. So the chances of getting a tenant are very good.
Yeah. And as an apartment developer, what challenges do you foresee right now in the next few
It's
years?
building cost.
Yeah.
And for instance, we're just about to launch, which I've spoken to you about,
Yeah.
our new project and all those sort of things as well. We've learned from COVID.
Yeah.
I don't want to say what else we could learn, but we learned a few things.
Yeah.
Was that a lot of people now shop online, so you've got to cater for that.
Yeah.
So when their parcels are delivered, there's something how to do it. When they shop at Woolies or Coles, there's a place to store their food.
Yeah.
Things like that, we take that all into what we've learned out of things like that.
Co-working space is another one.
Co-working space. We've taken a whole floor where you get co-working spaces. People don't like storage cages, so we're given a storage like locker internally.
Right.
Okay, and then building cost.
Yeah.
You've still got to keep it reasonable. So we spend a fortune of time and effort to make sure the design is that efficient
Yeah.
that we can still keep costings, probably 11 now to 12.
Yeah.
We're doing under 10 at the moment. So for a few years' time, still 11 to 12 would be very good.
Yeah.
But those are the challenges, is not just taking everything for granted, doing business as usual.
Yeah.
Look at what people want. Talk to the agents like we spoke to you. What are your clients looking for? What do they want? Then build that into the building and make sure we can still do it high quality, but at a reasonable price so you're still getting value.
Yeah. I think that's something you guys do really, really well. Getting to know what people want.
Instead of trying to guess,
Yeah.
we ask the question.
Yeah.
What do you want? Tell us.
Yeah.
And I'll probably tell you to get lost, but at least I know what you want.
That's right. Right. With the immigrants coming in large numbers, and I know Melbourne is getting ready with the tunnels and so forth in terms of infrastructure, but there's clearly a lack of supply.
You can see it.
Yeah.
As I say, people now are coming back from living out in the suburbs.
Yeah.
Because, as I say, it had a certain appeal at one stage.
Yeah.
So we got all those people gravitating back to the city.
Yeah.
All the immigration coming in. And we just opened an apartment and there's literally queues of people wanting to be in those locations.
Yeah.
So, and there's nothing being built.
Yeah.
Lead times are at least 5 years away before we see another big tower.
Yeah.
So again, talking about investors, there's still good value to be had.
Yeah.
I would go, let's get in while the value is good, because you're going to get a good return, and I think we're going to see growth over the next few years.
Yeah. And after that Sydney incident, this cladding became a huge issue.
Yep.
And how do you give clarity and confidence to investors with that?
Well, we certainly don't. If we've got an older building,
Yeah.
we've had issues. So we have owned buildings with cladding on, and we've had to deal with that, and that's cost.
Yeah.
Now, when you design a building, you make sure that there are no claddings.
Yeah.
And you would have noticed on our buildings, we don't put claddings or glass where you don't need it.
Yeah.
We go and we've colored the concrete. The building still looks amazing, but we're trying to keep, as you mentioned, OC fees down.
Yeah.
Making sure down the track we're not laboured with a bill to now take down something because it blew up.
Yeah.
So all those sort of things are very, very crucial in terms of design a new building for the future.
Yeah. As an owner-occupier, what do you think, based on your experience, they are looking for, apart from the location, the design, amenities, anything else you can think of that they are looking for as someone who want to live in that apartment?
Well, I think those are key things.
Yeah.
Firstly is access to public transport.
Yeah.
So if you're going to be an owner-occupier, you're probably there for a particular reason. If you wanted to be in the city because you're either studying,
Yeah.
or you're working in one of the big companies or whatever it is in the area.
Yeah.
So you want to be able to get there easily.
Yeah.
So you look at it and you go, okay, firstly, the design is good. It's going to give me all the sort of stuff that I need in the space I've got.
Yeah.
Now I want to get to work. How do I get to work easily without having to walk too far? And so all those little things you look at in terms of finding the right property.
Yeah. We talked about as a developer, but as an investor, what challenges do you foresee for someone to get into apartment investing in the next few years?
Cost.
Yeah.
Okay, we've already seen some of the existing projects are substantially more expensive than us. And then when valuers go through them, the valuations are not anywhere near what you bought it for.
Yeah.
That means you have to chip in a lot more than what you would normally have to do. So that is the challenge, is making sure you can get, again, I push the thing about value, making sure you, not rubbish.
Yeah.
Don't buy rubbish. We're talking about value that's going to be high quality, but at the right price.
Yeah.
That you know you're going to get, if not at val, but close to val. So you're not having to chip in too much to buy that property.
Yeah.
And in the future, already we're seeing building costs skyrocketing.
Yeah.
And that's a massive challenge. And that's why we spend a fortune of time and effort in terms of design to make sure we can still keep those things tight as possible.
Right.
Yeah.
And I saw an article from Charter Kramer as well that there will be about 25% increase in cost for the apartments in the coming years.
Absolutely. That's so that, and then we've always had a philosophy, build quality, but still come in cheaper than others.
Yeah.
And I think the thing when I spent some time with you overseas talking to people, people go, oh, yes, you guys are the cheapest. And I'd go, yes, let's put that to a side. Okay. I always go, look at the location.
Yeah.
So you go location, and you go, another point I haven't mentioned before is find a point of difference.
Yeah.
We got a lot of apartment developers that build the same thing over and over and over and over. So you've got thousands of the same style.
Yeah.
If you buy something from us, Salvo, you're getting you're getting a point of difference.
Yeah.
So when you're selling, so go location, point of difference, make sure it's high quality, and then get it at the best price.
I can vouch for that. I mean, each and every building you guys come up with, there's something different. The feedback has been incorporated by the buyers.
Yep.
So it's something unique all the time.
Something unique. And then later on, if you do want to sell, you're one of 170 apartments, instead of one of 4,000 apartments.
Correct.
Yeah. So that's what I try and point out is look for always good value. We know that. So location, good value, but look for something that's got a point of difference so that you stand out from the rest if and when you want to sell.
You talked about the Murray project. What else is on the pipeline in the next 5 years? And let's talk about the Murray project too.
Well, the Murray project, we're calling it a sort of a new generation project because everything's there. We've got, first of all, we've elevated the building. So we've got 9 levels of office space first.
Oh, right.
Yeah, huge entry level where you've got double volume lobby with coffee shops and stuff. And then, as I say, you get your parcels arranged and they'll be put in the lockers and the coals and all that. So it's all taken care of.
Yeah.
You then got amenities that are second to none. And instead of them all being internalized, we've got the ability now to open it. So people want to go in and out. So in summer, you can open it out and you can walk outside and you've got these beautiful amenities. Part of those office levels, at least one level will be all work from home stations, high-speed internet, all the little things that people want.
Yeah.
And greenery, so outdoor, indoor, greenery, facilities, and then views. That is an island site. So it's going to be one of the tallest buildings in that area. It's 56 floors.
Right.
And it doesn't matter where you are. You've got floor-to-ceiling windows. No matter where you are, you've got great views. So it's a very, very special new generation building.
Yeah. Anything else coming off along with that?
Yeah, we've got, Salvo, we've got such a pipeline. We've got about another 3,000 to 5,000 apartments that we can do.
Yeah.
Whether they, locally, and we've actually we've got the prison down here in Coburg.
Oh, right.
Yeah, that's ours as well. We've got stuff in Sydney. There's lots of stuff.
Yeah.
So the good thing when you're working with us, it's not just a one-off.
Yeah.
There's just this pipeline of projects that we've got on. Moray Street's our next exciting one.
Yeah.
But there'll always be more and better and we just learn and make them better.
Will there be another one in Port Melbourne?
Not Port Melbourne. Our next probably down. We've got Fisherman's Bend near the new Melbourne University campus.
Yeah.
So we've got a massive site there. I think we can do about 2,000 apartments there.
Wow.
But it's going to be a project where you've got shopping and everything. It'll be it's almost like a community down there. So Moray Street, and then we'll probably move that down to that side as well. Yeah.
All right. Anything else you want to add on to?
We were having that discussion. I was hoping you're going to bring it up. You say, why not buy an old apartment?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I know that's a tough question, and I was waiting for you to hammer it to me. I was going, let me think, what can I say? But it's more about exactly what we've been talking about now.
Yeah.
What people want. So, yes, you can go and buy an older apartment, and it probably is a bit cheaper.
Yeah.
But your OC fees will be astronomically higher.
Yeah.
It won't have facilities.
Yeah.
It's probably harder to get a tenant because as we're saying that people want facilities even if they don't use them.
Yeah.
And people like new modern designs. So, yes, you can probably buy an older apartment a bit cheaper than a newer one, but your OC fees will be a lot more.
Yeah.
You also won't get depreciation because it's already been depreciated. So that's a very big one, Naveen.
That's a big one, yeah.
When you, as a developer, not as a developer, as a investor buying a new project, there's a lot of depreciation you can claim against your tax.
Right.
Yeah.
No, definitely. That's a very good point.
Yeah.
And also, as an investor, you got to think about the next 10, 20 years.
Absolutely.
If you buy something 10 years old now,
Yep.
The rental demand to depreciation to everything else.
It's all lost, and it's getting older, and it's getting more expensive to maintain.
Yeah.
So, that's the pros and cons about that. I would still go that there's better value as long as you're with the right developer of buying something new.
Yeah. And if your OC fees are high now, the chances are it's going to double.
Because the classic is that we actually own a building in City Road that's an old building.
Yeah.
285 City Road. It's got no facilities. Yeah, the properties are a bit bigger but they're not as well designed as our newer ones.
Yeah.
But the OC fees are double what you would pay at Stature or Palladium.
Yeah.
And you've got no facilities. Yeah.
It's a bit crap, right?
It is, well. It's a good location.
All right. Okay. Great chatting, Greg.
Yeah.
I'm sure it was useful for most of the viewers. Feel free to watch all the episodes under Monopoly umbrella and you will not be disappointed.